Hello, so this will be a quick demo of the most recent version of the Servee content management system. This is a very thin content management system on top of the Django framework. So if you go to any of our sites and just look at the admin side, it's the typical Django interface. This is a very simple site. We have flat pages and a news blog and an upcoming events calendar. And this is a good example of how the interface works across the board. This works for simple sites all the way up through structured content, but I'll just show you this for now. So on any of our pages throughout the system, we just say edit flat page, and it'll pull up a form right on the page that looks exactly like the site, and you can just change content here. Say save when you're done, and that's really all there is to it. You can go in and add media, add images and documents, and we use the Django system to create all our thumbnails, so we can dynamically resize images as you place them to make sure they're a good size for the web. So that's flat pages, and it's easy enough to add news articles. You can see here when you're logged in you get these buttons, but otherwise it just looks exactly like the website. So you can go to the blog post and change the existing post or add a new one right here, and it'll give you a form field for your title, your URL, teaser content, and all the information that you need to add here. And you can have different sections within the blog. This uses Biblion for the blog. So we use a lot of different open source software to just plug into the Servee system. So you create your new post and hit save, and it'll show up at the top of the list. Pretty straightforward. The calendar is very similar. You just say add event, and it will give you a form where you enter the start date and end date and the title and everything you need there, and that will save to your calendar. So that's really all there is to it for the editing features of the software. It does get a little more complicated than that if it needs to. This site here has a Spanish version, so you can see when we edit the flat page for this site we'll have an English version and a Spanish version, and it's right within the same content window, so you can see whether a page has been translated or not when you're in the system. So you make your changes, you hit save, and again you can add images, image galleries, document. So that's that, and we also have chunks throughout the site where templated content can go, and we make the decisions for you as far as how chunks are displayed across different areas of the site. So this one is displayed throughout all of the farmers market. All the green tabs will have this same chunk, but then down here in the footer this is consistent throughout the site. So basically we've made those intelligent decisions for you when we build the templates, so you don't really have to think about that. And it works really well with structured data as well. So for this site we have, this is a product module that we built for this company where each product has an overview with an image and a headline and a couple of paragraphs, a list of drawings, and those are just PDFs, and then they've got some custom tabs that they can add to each product. So it doesn't really make sense to have a content area for each of these. So the way we do it so that the user doesn't have to think about layout, and we make this as much of a bulletproof website as we can here. So for these documents, instead of going into the other interface and adding documents one at a time, where that layout can kind of get messed up just in a typical WYSIWYG editor, we added this in so when you need to add a document, you just choose the file from your computer and upload it, and the document will be resized. The thumbnail will show up and the title of the document will show up next to the icon here. So the layout is going to look really good. And if you need to delete anything, just hit the delete button. So again, that's very straightforward. You're not going to break the layout with TinyMCE or FCK editor or any of the typical WYSIWYG editors that are available. So then if you need to change the image or the content area here, you just hit change, and you can see you can add a new tab in this area. So they don't have a incredibly consistent details across their products, so we needed to build a little bit of flexibility here. So that's it. We can do structured data, we can do multilingual capabilities, we've got some e-commerce sites, but really Servee is this thin layer that makes the user feel like they're editing their site, and that's really all there is to it. So as far as adding new apps or adding flat pages or changing permissions, all of that is still done in the Django interface. So we haven't tried to reinvent the wheel. Django does a lot of things very well, and we've just added some editing tools on top of it to make it easy for non-technical staff to maintain their site without calling us. So that was the goal, and we've done a pretty good job at it. So if you have any questions, let me know, and thanks for watching the demo.